Saluton. Hello. Hi, this is Ahmad Reza Mamduhi. I want first thank all organizers of the current Polyglot gathering. And now I should give you a crash course on Persian. But you know, natural languages are so complicated. It's not just about Persian, and in an hour or so, you cannot teach anything about it. But, however, I try to say something about Persian, and actually, this will be an introduction to Persian, its history a bit, its alphabet, its literature. So I believe when you want to learn some language by heart, only learn the phrases and things like that, you can learn it by any site, can't you? By any application. For example, salam is hello, khuda hafiz is goodbye, and so on. So I don't want to teach you like that. I want to give you an image to the Persian language. I hope you will enjoy it. Fakte tiu ĉi prezentaĵo estas surbaze de prezentaĵo kiun mi havis en Irana Esperanto-kongreso monatojn antaŭe, nun mi diras ĝin angle. As you see, my presentation is in Esperanto language, but I will try to clarify it in English. Sorry about my English, it's not as good as my Persian or Esperanto. In Persian, uh, one word, عاشقتم, means the lover of you is me. عاشقتم is just one word, and it means the lover of you is me. In this presentation, you will see how it works. And here you can see Persian calligraphy. You know, this art is very old in Iran because when Islam came to Iran, actually the painting, especially of the faces, was not allowed, was forbidden. So other arts like calligraphy got very progressed. So first, I want to tell you why you shouldn't start to learn Persian language by its alphabet. Because you can see now, Persian alphabet is actually based on Arabic alphabet. And Arabic alphabet is very difficult to learn in comparison with Latin alphabet, for example. One reason is this one, because the direction in writing in Arabic language and in Persian is from right to left, not left to right like Latinate languages and so on. So it's one big difference which will be a big challenge for you. So my recommendation is not to start to learn Persian by its alphabet. You can learn it by Latin alphabet, and it will help you to learn Persian, especially for conversation. If you want to use Persian for your conversations and you don't want to read, for example, books and magazines and so on, this way you can learn Persian very fast. And after that, when you got sufficiently progressed in speaking Persian, and it will be through that Latin alphabet, you can start to learn the Persian alphabet, which is based on Arabic one. Another reason for skipping the Persian alphabet at first is its complexity when you want to write a word. For example, the word Esperanto, if you want write it in Persian, there are 36 different ways that you can write the word Esperanto. Why? Because in Persian alphabet, there are two different letters for representing A, for Esperanto. And four letters there are in Persian alphabet just for writing se, S in English. And there are two letters for T, or te, and two letters for O. And if you just multiply them together, 2 by 4 by 2 by 2, it will be 36 different forms. And here, because I didn't have enough space, I just showed half of them. You can see here the word Esperanto in 18 forms. Yes, another reason is in Persian alphabet, we don't write the vocals actually. So we just write the consonants. And you can imagine how difficult it gets when you don't write the vocals, vowels. We just write consonants. This is a Persian alphabet, and the only vowel that has a special letter in alphabet of Persian is this one, the last one, ye. Kai g havas iam las sound of ye and other times e. So when it has the sound of e, it's a vocal. But another vocals, actually, Persian has 6 vowels: a, a, e, o. So it's just like Japanese or Esperanto with one extra vowel, a. So in Persian we have both a and a. But uh, with Persian alphabet, you can write or you should learn to write these 6 vowels by 17 different forms, 17 different letters and letter combinations. For example, here you can see, actually this is a homework of my daughter when she came to the first year of primary school. And this table is very big table. I just put here 4 lines of it. It's a very big table, and it's called the friendship table of the alphabet. Because in Arabic alphabet, some letters, when they are one near the other, attach each one to each other, and some don't. For example, for B in English, we have 4 different forms. When B is at the first of the word, when it's in the middle of the word, when it's at the end of the word, and when it's totally separate of other letters or words. And here you can see that those 6 vowels are written in 17 different forms. For example, you can see A is written both these 2 ways. A, A. A is written these 2 ways. A, kai, A. U is written these 2 ways. U, kai, U. E is written in 5 different ways. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of them sounds E. And A as well can be written in 5 different ways. A. And finally, O can be written in 2 different ways. So you can see, on average, 17 ways for showing the vowels. For example, when you want to combine the B with different vowels, it will be ba, ba, bu, bi, be, bo. 6 ways of pronouncing, but 17 different ways of writing. This is the same table. I just made it bigger. if you wanted to have some screenshot and have it for you, I just make it bigger. And it's the whole table you can see. So they say that Persian alphabet has 32 letters, but you can see here, because of those irregular combinations of the vowels with consonants, actually you have to learn 320 different forms of their combinations. That's the other reason that I recommend you don't start with Persian alphabet. You can start with uh, another alphabet, Latin based, about which I will tell you uh, in next slides. Here, actually, because this uh, slide was for my Esperanto presentation, I made it another one for English. You can see here this middle one, which I'm now showing. Can you guess what it is saying in English? It's a famous saying in English. I just put away the vowels. You can see when the vowels are not written, how difficult it is to guess what is written. Yes, it was this one. Adversity and loss make a man wise. You see, when you took the vowels out, you can't guess uh, easily. And imagine, all Persian texts are like that. All of them are written without any vowels. So, if not learn Persian by Arabic or Persian alphabet, how to learn it? You can learn it by something called Farsanto. Farsanto is a portmanteau from two words, Farsi and Esperanto. Farsi and Esperanto make a portmanteau Farsanto. So it's a way of writing Farsi by Esperanto alphabet. You may have heard about Finglish or Pinglish. It was invented when SMS came first in Iran, because the first mobiles, you didn't have the Persian alphabet, so they should write their messages by Latin alphabet. So Finglish or Pinglish was invented. By English alphabet, they wrote Farsi or Persian. But that was very complicated, because, as you know, writing English by English uh, alphabet is very hard, even for English language itself. You may know this book or other books like this. It's Langman Pronunciation Dictionary, and there are lots of similar books about English pronunciation. It says only the pronunciation of the English words by IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, which has about 60 different signs or letters. Because they say English has 26 letters, but those 26 letters have about 60 different sounds. Half of them, roughly, are for representing the vowels, and half of them, 30 of them, are for representing the consonants in English. So when they want to write Persian by English alphabet, it got even more difficult. But Esperanto alphabet is totally different. It means that Esperanto doesn't need any book like this. So when you learn Esperanto alphabet, which is here shown, you won't have any problem in writing, pronunciation, orthography, dictation for Esperanto. I just read it aloud and rapidly, and you can see A, O, So, Cho, Do. Kai vivid است که چیتی anka per IPA, International Phonetic Alphabet, the sound is shown. But the consonants in Esperanto are pronounced with O because all names in Esperanto ends with O. Do, e, fo, go, jo, ho, ho, I, yo, jo, ko, lo, mo, no, o, po, ro, so, sho, to, u, wo, vo, zo. So when you want to write Persian by Esperanto alphabet, it gets very easy. Only there are three sounds in Persian that do not exist in Esperanto. So for adding those three sounds to alphabet of Esperanto and making Farsanto, we need to add three Latin letters to Esperanto alphabet. Those are Y, Q, and W. We use Y in Farsanto for showing A. So A, English A is for A, but Y is for A. And if you're familiar with Loglan language, logical language, also in Loglan, Y has the same sound, a vowel A. Also in Italian, you know, A is pronounced like that. And in International Phonetic Alphabet, this sound is the sign for A. The other sound which is in Persian and doesn't exist in Esperanto is Q. And we show that with Latin alphabet Q. So Q is for Q. That Q is like French R, isn't it? You see that French people also pronounce re kiel re. So for Persian Q, we use Q. And the last one is W. W is used in Farsanto for glottal stop. I'm sure you know what is glottal stop. When you're pronounce it, you will have some stop here at your the spot. So W is for glottal stop. So that word, which at the first of the presentation I told it means the lover of you is me, عاشقتم. It should be written actually like this, عاشقتم. So Q is for ق and Y is for A, عاشقتم. We see how useful Farsanto can be. I can give you one real example. Some time ago, Accademia Literatura de Esperanto, they contacted me and asked me to translate a very short poem by a very big Esperanto poet, Baldur Ragnarsson. He is a very big Esperanto poet from Iceland. And when I translated this poem into Persian, they wanted to know how does it sound in Persian. And learning Persian alphabet for them is, as you can imagine now, is very hard. It's actually the translation in Persian alphabet. But what I did, I sent them the translation in Farsanto, and this is in Farsanto. And this and with this short guide, they can learn Farsanto, and they can read it just like any body in the world who knows Farsanto would read. So it would read Rahbord. I would like to first read its Esperanto original and then its Persian. The title of the poem is Strategio, strategy. Ne pli pesa ol poŝtmarko la vintra embrezio. Tamen neĝo ŝtormo ne povas ĝin forblovi, sed fendiĝas duflanken kun kapo kontraŭ la vento, flugilojn firme fermitaj, ni provu tian strategion. ĝia persa fariĝis راهبرد. سنگین‌تر از تمری نیست گنجشک چشم تیره، اما بوران بنیه بردنش را ندارد، بلکه به دو باد بشکفته می شود. با سری در برابر باد، با بالهایی بسته بسته بیازماییم این راهبرد را. The reason they wanted to see how does it sound in Persian, because Ragnarsson actually used alliteration in his poem. When he said, for example, flugiloi ferme fermitai, he does alliteration with F. In Persian, I made it like بلکه به دو باد بشکفته می شود or با بالهایی بسته بسته. I made it alliteration with B. So you can see how easy you can transmit, show the pronunciation of Persian literature or any text to foreigners by this simple alphabet. My recommendation is to you learn Esperanto by this alphabet, as long as you want just to learn Persian for your conversations, not for read the books and journals and things like that. So here we go to some history about Persian and Arabic languages. Actually, Persian is an Indo-European language and Arabic is a Semitic language. So you see these belong to two totally different branches of languages in linguistics. But they've got now lots of words in common. Why? Because of historical, sociological things that happened between these two, especially because of coming of Islam to Iran. And because of that, even in Quran, there are some Persian words. And also in Persian, there are lots of words from Arabic. And there are lists, a very long list of Arabic words in Persian and Persian words in Arabic. Here I just showed about those two branches of languages, the Indo-European and Semitic languages. All these colors that you see here show just the Indo-European languages. So you can see here Iran, also Persian, it belongs to Indo-European languages, all of them. But here, this little ellipse or a circle, which I made bigger here, shows the Afro-Asiatic languages, and among them Semitic language. So you can see here this color shows the Semitic languages, which includes also Arabic. So you can see the difference between these two languages. And in all different eras in Persian language history, there were and still there are three main types of Persian language, we could say. One is pure Persian language, in which there are not or very little number of Arabic words. The other extreme is a Persian which is full of Arabic words, and there are a vast spectrum between them. And the reason for this is when Arabic came to Iran at the first in Iran, Arabic was a compulsory language of the country for a long time. Uh, so even those Iranian who didn't learn Arabic totally used a lot of Arabic words in the Persian language, and also Persian writers uh, went to Arabic language to write their masterpieces, to in philosophy, to in poetry, to in science, sorry, uh, in all fields of science and literature, they tried to write in Arabic. But in some period, uh, one Persian poet came called Ferdowsi, about whom I will speak in next slides. He came and actually saved Persian from that Arabization, we could say, and that is very possible because Persian language is an agglutinate language, and you know when a language is agglutinate, you can make a lot of compound words with a very limited number of word roots and affixes, suffixes and prefixes and endings. Uh, the percentage of agglutinity of Persian is 34%, and that of English is 30%. So, the poet who saved the Persian language is called Ferdowsi. He lived about 1,000 years ago. Uh, so when he came, he started to write a very big book called Shahnameh, the book of Shahs. And in that book, he tried not to use Arabic words and just used Persian words. And by that book, which is very epopic and about a mythology of Persian uh, antique world and Persian uh, mythology, he actually made again Persian popular all in all Iran, in all parts of Iran. And actually, apart from linguistic coherence which he created by Shahnameh, he actually created also a new identity for Iran country or all Iranians, because you know even now in Iran there are very different people from different uh, how could I say, different gentoi in Esperanto. For example, we have Kurds, we have Turkmens, we have Turks, we have Arabs, we have very different people. So Persian language became the national language of Iran and made that identity for the whole country and its people. And it is very interesting that he wrote that book uh, within 30 years. And in those 30 years, when he was writing those poems, he didn't say anything to anybody. And when he finished it, and the uh, Shah of that time sent him some dedications, lots of dedications, lots of money and things like that, he actually was dead. Uh, they say either mythically or really, when they were exciting, when they were uh, mm, uh, porting his dead body to the cemetery. The dedications of the Shah was coming from another gate of that city, Tus. Yes, and for example, I can say about Egypt. You may know Muhammad Hassan Haikal. He is maybe the most famous journalist, Egypt journalist. And when somebody asked him, why you Egyptian people, why you lost your Egyptian language and Arabic became your national language? He replied that because we didn't have anybody like Ferdowsi. I told you just that Ferdowsi saved Persian language, and they say in another way, if there weren't Ferdowsi, maybe Iranians now would speak in Arabic, like Egypt people. So uh, now we come to see how Arabic had influence on Persian. For example, Esh I wrote here in English because I changed this presentation a bit, added some parts for this English presentation. So, ishq, which means love in Persian and in Arabic, it's lover makes ashiq. So you can see that this is not an agglutinate word, because in agglutinate word, if you would make some agglutinate word with ishq, you should see ishq totally without any elision, and add to it some prefixes, suffixes, or other words. But you see here in ashiq, which means lover, you can't see ishq. It's deformed. There is she, ge in it, but you can't see ishq. Because of this, uh, again, Farsi is not very easy to learn. And the other example is this one. If you want to make beloved, it get ma'ashuq. You can see, again, you can't see the word ishq in the word ma'ashuq. Again, we have she, kai, ke, but ma'ashuq is totally different word. And this way of making the word in Arabic is the way of making words actually. And if you are again familiar with Loglan, also Loglan has similar structure. Loglan is an artificial language, but it has a similar uh, structure. And here I show you about genitive in Persian. That of English is a in Persian. Kitab means book, and ketabe means the book of you. So kitab shoma means the book of you. Shoma means you, and kitab means the book. So a is like of in English. And we have in Persian attached possessive pronouns. So kitabam means my book. And you see, in English we don't have that kind of possessive pronouns like my. My is separate from book. My book, two words. But ketabam is one word. I put a dash here just to show how they are combined. In ordinary Persian, they don't put that dash. So ketabam means my book, ketabet your book, ketabesh his or her book, ketabemun our book, ketabetun your book, ketabeshun their book. So ketab means the book. And why the book? Here I explain about article in Persian. In Persian, there is not a definite article. In Persian, we are just have indefinite article. So when you say just kitab, it's definite by itself. Kitab means the book. But if you want to make it indefinite, you have to add at its end either e or yek at its beginning, or both of them, yek at first and e at the end. So a book in Persian is kitabi, yek kitab, or yek kitabi. So this is about article and about verbs. Actually, ashiq, I told you, ashiq means lover, and ashiqam means uh, I love. Ashiqi, you love. Ashiqe, she or he loves. Ashiqim, we love. Ashiqid, you love. Ashiqand, they love. As you can see, like in the European languages, the second person is the same. And it's like French and Italian. You saw parlo, parli, parla. You see anche, pardon, also in Italian and French, the verbs are like that. They differ according to the person. So, عاشقتم, as I told you, uh, here you can see now why عاشقتم means the lover of you is me. Uh, عاشق, you saw, means the lover. If we want to say a lover, we should say عاشقی او یک عاشق او یک عاشقی. But because it's just عاشق without any article, so it means a definite article, the amanto. And you realize a is genitive, عاشق so means the lover of, and that to is you, so the lover of you. Am means I am. So you now realize why عاشقتم means the lover of you is me, or are me. So thank you. I can go through the slides and speak a bit more. For example, about Persian alphabet. I told you you can skip the Persian alphabet and learn Farsanto, or Latin alphabet to learn Farsi, but now I imagine that you have learned uh, Persian by Latin alphabet, and you can write or read by Farsanto different Persian texts. So now I teach a bit about Persian alphabet. Actually, this is Persian alphabet, and as you can see, as I told you, these are written from right to the left. This is called Aleph, and its sound can be A, E, O, Au, A, according to an accent that you would put above it or under it, or wherever. So this is B. And again, if you put an accent above it, it would be ba. If you combine it with a, it will be ba. If you would combine it with e, it will be b. And if you put another type of accent above it, it would be bo, or bu. Uh, I think it's better to show here. Yes, you can see here B. This is B. Ba. You can see how it's combined with A. It attaches to it and makes this font. And if you want to say ba, you have to put this accent above it, ba. And if you want to write boo, you have to add this u, a vav, after it, boo. And if you want to say b, you can write like this, b, or like this. It's at the end of the word, and it's at the beginning of the word, b and b. And for b, you have to put this accent under the letter. For all letters, you could do this. And for B, we also can put these two signs. These are actually H in English, he. But when they come at the end of some words, they show just the vowel A. And the last one is O. If you put this kind of accent above B, it will be bo. And the same is for M. You see me here. Me, ma, ma, mu, me, me. At the first of the word, at the end of the word. Me, me. At the first of the word, at the end of the word. And mo. And the last one is D, English D. So dal, it's the name of this is dal in Persian. Da, da, do, di, de, do. It's actually the different types that I told you. Uh, you have to learn each each of them separately. So you have to just learn that Z. This is Z. I can make it bigger. This is Z, Z. So za, za, zu, zi, zi, ze, ze, zo. You have to just uh, learn by heart. For example, for K, when it attaches to A, for it became like this. Ka, ka, ku, ki, ke, ke, sorry, and ge the same way for G, ge. Gaf, the name of the letter is Gaf, and ga, ga, gu, gi, ge, go. For P is this one, pa, pa, pu, pi, pe, po, and the last one here, ta, ta, tu, ti, te, to. So it was just part of it, not all of them. You can see it was part of it, and it's the other part, and they are altogether 320 different forms. So I believe my time is over. I really thank you and say goodbye to you. Thanks. Bye.